Hi friends, I'm glad to welcome you all for the English Fluency course day 13. Today's class is going to be an amazing class because you are going to learn a very important tense in English language. Before that, I would like to thank you all for your wonderful support and love. We all know that there are three main tenses in English. We all know that there are three main tenses in English. There are present tense, past tense and future tense. I go, I went, I will go. To describe the completed action, we use past tense. To describe the action which will take place in the future, we use future tense. Here we know pronouns I, we, you, he, she, it, they. There are seven. These personal pronouns are important because without them we cannot make any sentence. Right? So if you want to make a sentence, you must use these pronouns. So that is why learning these pronouns is very important. I go to school, we go to school, you go to school. Here, when the subject is third person singular, we need to add s or es to the verb. That's why when the subject is he, we added es to the verb 1, go. That's why he goes to school, she goes to school, it goes to school, they go to school. Only when the subject is third person singular, the verb takes s or es. With the remaining subjects, the verb will be as it is. There will be no change in the verb form. My father goes to school. Here, my father is third person singular. That's why verb takes es. My father goes to school. My mother goes to school. My brother goes to school. My sister goes to school. My aunt goes to school. My uncle goes to school. My grandfather goes to school. Here, whatever the verb we use, for example, in the place of go, we, for example, you take another verb like take, then s will be added because subject is third person singular, takes. If you take the verb eat, eats, it will be as eats. My grandmother goes to school. My neighbor goes to school. My cousin goes to school. My friend goes to school. My nephew goes to school. What is the meaning of the word nephew? Nephew means son of sister. Okay? Son of sister is called nephew. My niece goes to school. Niece means daughter of our sister. My daughter goes to school. My son goes to school. My father in law goes to school. My mother in law goes to school. My teacher goes to school. Here you can observe there is a change in the verb form. It is not go, it is goes. Why did we use goes? Because of the subject. What is the subject? Subject is third person singular. All these are third person singulars. When the subject is I, we, you, and they, there will be no change in the verb form in simple present tense. Now let us see the negative forms, the negative statements. I go to school is positive statement. Now let us see the negative statement for this sentence. I don't go to school. I go to school. I don't go to school. We go to school. We don't go to school. You go to school. You don't go to school. They go to school. They don't go to school. The same way, he goes to school is positive statement, and the negative statement for this sentence is he doesn't go to school. She goes to school. She doesn't go to school. It goes to school. It doesn't go to school. My father goes to school. My father doesn't go to school. My mother goes to school. My mother doesn't go to school. My brother goes to school. My brother doesn't go to school. My sister goes to school. My sister doesn't go to school. My aunt goes to school. My aunt doesn't go to school. My uncle goes to school. My uncle doesn't go to school. My grandfather goes to school. My grandfather doesn't go to school. My grandmother goes to school. My grandmother doesn't go to school. My neighbor goes to school. My neighbor doesn't go to school. My cousin goes to school. My cousin doesn't go to school. My friend goes to school. My friend doesn't go to school. My nephew goes to school. My nephew doesn't go to school. My niece goes to school. My niece doesn't go to school. My daughter goes to school. My daughter doesn't go to school. My son goes to school. My son doesn't go to school. My father in law goes to school. My father in law doesn't go to school. My mother in law goes to school. My mother in law doesn't go to school. My teacher goes to school. My teacher doesn't go to school. Now let us see interrogative sentences. My father goes to school. Does my father go to school? My mother goes to school. Does my mother go to school? My brother goes to school. Does my brother go to school? My sister goes to school. Does my sister go to school? My aunt goes to school. Does my aunt go to school? My uncle goes to school. Does my uncle go to school? My grandfather goes to school. Does my grandfather go to school? My grandmother goes to school. Does my grandmother go to school? My neighbor goes to school. Does my neighbor go to school? My cousin goes to school. Does my cousin go to school? My friend goes to school. Does my friend go to school? My nephew goes to school. Does my nephew go to school? My niece goes to school. Does my niece go to school? My daughter goes to school. Does my daughter go to school? My son goes to school. Does my son go to school? My father-in-law goes to school. Does my father-in-law go to school? My mother-in-law goes to school. Does my mother-in-law go to school? My teacher goes to school. Does my teacher go to school? Dear friends, you need to practice these sentences until you become confident. If you want to become fluent in English, if you want to learn English, practice is a must. You need to practice these sentences. You have to practice these sentences. The more you practice, the faster you become fluent in English. Your fluency depends on your practice. The more you practice, the faster you become fluent in English. This is all for today. Thank you so much for following my video. See you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon too, so that you will receive the notifications whenever I upload a new video. Thank you everyone. See you in the next class. Until then, take care. Bye.